This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. Hey, well, that wasn't that bad. All right, here for a second show. Oh no, is this dark? Uh, I think I set myself up for failure. So first off, let's get to the beer of the show. It is the Nitro Three Philosophers Quadruple Ale, a blend of quadruple ale, creek ale with cherries. They fooled me with the can. It's a really cool looking can with the three philosophers in them and everything like that. It's 9.7 and it's a tall boy. So this is going to be a very interesting show, but welcome. Yeah, this is going to be a miserable show now because this is absolutely atrocious. Oh my God, whose idea was this? It tastes like, I don't taste any cherries. It almost tastes like a stout. Yeah. So, anyway, uh, you're all here for, well, you're all here for the great second episode this week. For this episode, I'm just going to talk about, man, that quadruple L got me already. This episode, I'm just going to talk about NFL. Last episode, I did all college football. So this episode, we're going to just do NFL. So let's get to it, man. First and foremost, news you can boost to. Torturous. Injuries, injuries, injuries. The list is so beyond crazy. I'm only going to just highlight like the top names and stuff like that. But the amount of injuries that have been going on this week or this past few weeks has like it's been crazy. So first off, Pacheco goes out in the game and looking like 6 weeks due to his ankle. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown didn't play Monday night because he had a hamstring issue during practice throughout the week. Christian McCaffrey has since been put on injured reserve. Like, what? They say it's a calf strain. They want to give him time to rest. Deebo Samuel went out during the game. Like, is the Madden curse real or what? I don't. It's crazy. And then Cooper Kupp goes out with an ankle injury. Might miss more than 1 week. It's still in the air. Joe Mixon went out Sunday night. Fucking Evan Ingram went out. Puka is now on injured reserve. Hollywood Brown is on injured reserve. And Tua got another concussion on Thursday night's game. Now, I was in between playing this video back and forth. I watched it live, and I just could not watch. I don't like seeing people with the hand up and being all like fingers and not having functions of their brain. It was bad, and it brings the question, which everybody's been kind of talking about. Is it time for him to consider retirement? Now, his coach thinks this is a horrible question because that's doing no good for him right now. His main focus should be getting healthy. Whether to play or not, it should be focused on being healthy. He is on injured reserve as well, so he'll be out for 4 weeks at least to get a chance to come back during the season and, get them in the playoffs. But I don't know. Like, for me, I feel like the man has had 4 to 5 concussions in a span of 2 years. That is not good. That is fucking terrible. Worse than the drink terrible. Like, that is beyond crazy. And for me, I feel like as if I was a family member, it's more so about taking care of your family. You just got a big contract. Yes, you feel obligated to your team. You're a competitor. I get it. I hear you. But you're only going to play football for a small amount of your life. Will the rest of your life be fucking worthless? You're always dependent on somebody, or will you be able to enjoy your life? That is the difference. And I feel like the coach obviously is going to say his coach things because that's their number one quarterback. Otherwise, they're stuck with their backup who did not look good. But then again, neither did the entire team. Miami did not look good. at all Thursday night. So, to me, it's like, that's not his concern, though. His concern should be about his health going out of football, like, when it's football is done. From physically hurt to mentally hurt, the Panthers have decided to bench Bryce Young, who was their first round draft pick, who they traded the world for, and has had an abysmal start. He's absolutely terrible. There's pictures of him throwing the ball without looking, with his eyes closed, which is crazy. They're going to start with Andy Dalton, which, say what you want about Andy Dalton. He's a good filler. He's a good professional, if you will. It's not the end of Bryce, though. I feel like Bryce is going to get a better chance somewhere else. He needs to look at, say, the Baker Mayfields, who played at South Carolina for a little while. He needs to look at the Sam Darnolds, the Derek Carrs, the Justin Fields. He needs the Russell Wilsons. He needs to look at those guys who are having better years now that they're into the right situation. Hopefully he gets the chance to prove it before the end of the year, because no matter what, the Panthers are the garbage. They're fucking terrible. But at least now they can't blame it all on quarterback play, which, whatever. But he will get a second chance. I think so. I think it'll be somewhere far, far away from the NFC South. But, hey, listen, I could be wrong. He might not get another chance, but I think Carolina has way more things to deal with than just the quarterback. They have the list is like a long list sheet of, roll of toilet paper, the amount of shit that they need to deal with. So they're fucking terrible. But we've got that's pretty much the news you can boost to, because we gotta move on, because the injuries this week or the past few weeks, everybody's just, it's been crazy. But it's time for the beer goggles of the week. Oh man, it was an interesting week of nonsense. And speaking of nonsense, let's get to the drunk fight, man. First up, my guy, Derek White at the Colorado State game. Who the fuck is Derek White? Yo, I don't know what dude is doing. That's crazy. So Derek White, apparently he didn't throw any blows, but you could tell it was kind of a drunken fight. I don't know if he was drunk. You couldn't really see him. His mans was definitely drunk. But yeah, like, that's crazy. So next up is in-game situation. Green Bay, Josh Myers, the center, couldn't hold it anymore, and it's kind of crazy how this happened. But my man, this is sicko mode. Like, how did the refs not stop this?
See what he dials up. 6 out of 7 on third down so far. Blitz is picked up. Willis now in trouble. He gets away again. Malik Willis.
I don't know whether to be grossed out or like more impressed that he actually continued to play, but that's just so disgusting. We're talking just hurled on the ball, the field, and the refs later asked the coach LaFleur, like, "Oh, should we have stopped it?" What? Yes, you should have stopped it, you fucking morons. The entire ref staff in that game, Josh Meyer as well as LaFleur, all deserve beer goggles of the week, because what the entire fuck? Why would you let your man just throw up on the ball? on the field is one thing, but just completely throw up on the ball. And shout out to Malik Willis for like moving through and still going and not throwing the ball. He actually ran with it, took it all himself, which is disgusting in itself too. All right, next up, last but not least, Bo Nix is a genius. Bo Nix is a genius.
Bo, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
Drop back, do it to the other team.
Like, oh, okay, that's it? You're not going to, no? Okay, all right, cool. No in-depth, no what I saw, what I didn't see. No, I mean, hey, listen, sometimes we just get frustrated, but that is crazy. That is crazy. Bo, yeah, you got to get them beer goggles of the week. Man, that's crazy. That man is already defeated before the years. They ain't even started for real, but that man is defeated. Okay, enough of the bad stuff. Beer goggles is over. Let's get down to the six-pack of the week. So there was a lot of great plays this week, as usual, right? But speaking of first Green Bay, first let's look at the touchdown pass.
135 yards. Put it in the air this time. It is through there to Wicks and a touchdown. Willis threads it through for his first NFL strike and a touchdown. Joe, when he threw it,
Hell of a throw, better catch. I low-key thought the defender played pretty good defense on that. I thought the defender was actually going to get it, but he didn't. So, shout out to that. It was the game-winning touchdown, if you will, because basically later on they won the game. Speaking of game winners, Philly. He couldn't believe it. Oh, man. And by the way, that celebration that he cut off or whatever, he was doing a gun or something like that, and the ref threw like unsportsmanlike conduct. He was on his bench. He was by his bench. He was on it. Like, come on, ref. Like, come on, man. Like, it wasn't like he pointed it at somebody. He did it in the air. He wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like. That was crazy. They still won the game-winning touchdown. He couldn't even believe he was that open. I'm shocked. Everybody, I think, was shocked that he was that open. Props to Kirk Cousins, because I think he kind of, like, you could tell by the video, he kind of like, hey, like, yes, that you go out route, like, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so. Listen, Eagles got some things to work out. Jalen Hurts did not look great. Kirk Cousins looked a lot better than the first week against the Steelers. But yeah, so next up is the Speedy Gonzalez of New Orleans. Oh, that's bad. Man, that was worse. The defense was worse than the drink there. But the Saints absolutely put it on Dallas. Unfortunately, Dallas they really looked like playoff Dallas, and it was kind of crazy as their home opener. There were so many angry Cowboy fans. I mean, they was calling Micah Parsons out of his name. It was bad. So yeah, I mean, Listen, I get it. You know, the Saints weren't supposed to just absolutely win that game like that. 6 drives, 6 touchdowns. Like, not a one stop. Not one. And there's more on the six-pack of that week. Don't worry.
Back to Donald. Launches. End zone. Harrison. Caught! First NFL touchdown for Marvin Harrison Jr. An impressive grab. We'll see if it stands.
Marvin Harrison Jr. got his first TD. I guess it was Kyler Murray's job to get him the ball. He did get 2 touchdowns as well, or he got 2 touchdowns altogether, but that first one was, to me, the best catch. And the defender looked like he had an opportunity to kind of like push him out, but he thought he was already out. Hell of a situational awareness to know where you were on that catch. So, you know, got to give him credit. I do, yeah, 6-pack of the week. He deserves it. Like I said, though, the Saints were on the 6-pack of the week. And this guy was definitely Offensive Player of the Week. If he don't get it, I don't know who deserves it. But he was scoring. Alvin Kamara was scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And yes, he really scored 4 touchdowns out of the 7 or 6 that they scored. So 7. So just yeah.
Here's Kamara running right side. Wow! Surges in for the touchdown.
Second down.
Pressure coming. They set up a screen. Oh, there's a lot of room. Alvin Kamara, room to roll. Alvin Kamara's going to score. Touchdown. Wow. Kamara, big hole, left side. Alvin Kamara sprinting towards the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, New Orleans. The 3rd for Kamara in this first half. Kamara looking for his 4th touchdown of the game. Stays on his feet. Alvin Kamara's got 4.
The last one was the most egregious of all because he got in the pile or in the group of defenders as well as offensive line, and no one wrapped up. No one. Nobody felt and grabbed a jersey and tried to strip that was, I'm going to say it was embarrassing for the Cowboys, but I feel like that was a hell of a game. You can't take nothing away from Alvin Kamara that game. He came in there and absolutely went to work. And one of my arch nemesis in football is the 49ers. I do not fuck with the 49ers. I have friends that are 49er fans, so I have to hear their nonsense, and we talk of football, of course. But the 49ers lost to the Vikings. And this was one of the touchdowns that did not look like it was going to be much for that drive. I mean, it shouldn't have been. They were backed up. I'll just let you watch it.
So far in the Viking defense, 2nd down 9. Darnold getting messy, going deep, and he's got Jefferson. It's a foot race downfield with Brown. Shifting gears, getting a block. That's 6. 97 yards! Holy...
Ain't no way. How he was able... Again, Bryce Young, call Sam Darnold, because that guy is having a resurgence in Minnesota. It could strictly be coaching out there because Matt Rule is, winning where he's at as well. He's 2 or 3-0 right now. Nebraska. So Bryce, call Sam Darnold, let him tell you what he did to bounce back and get his confidence back, because that man right there threw a 97-yard touchdown, and it was amazing throw. Horrible defense after the catch, but it was an amazing throw. So, like I said, the 49ers got beat. And, of course, the 49ers right now are like one of the teams to beat. And they are in everybody's power rankings is top 10, in the top 10 power rankings. I mean, honest to God truth, they are the team to beat in the NFC. The NFC, everybody's trying to get to the point of out physicaling or outplaying Shanahan and his boys, and they're a great team. I'm not taking nothing away from them, even though they did take that L to the Vikings, which they are 0-2 against the Vikings. So, as of recent. So I don't know if it's just the Vikings, kryptonite, whatever the case may be. Whatever. The new 49ers are 0-2 against them. But it got me thinking, right? Everybody's been talking, power rankings. So I started going around and looking at the top 10s. And, NFL Network or NFL.com, they have an interesting top 10, I'll say. So first off, they have the Chiefs, number 1. They have the 49ers at number 2, the Texans at number 3, the Bills at number 4, and the Lions at number 5. The Eagles, number 6. Chargers, number 7. Saints, number 8. And Ravens, number 9. And the Packers, number 10. Now, I don't like their 10. I came up with my own 10, by the way. I'm going to tell you out here in a little bit. But I don't like their 10. I think, one, we're too high, honest to God truth. I don't think we should be number 10. I know that sounds crazy. Baltimore still being in the top 10 is crazy, starting out the season at 0-2. The Saints being 8. I mean, you have an argument there. They could be higher, but they beat 2 bad defensive teams. All right. Chargers, kind of the same thing. Raiders and Panthers, although the Raiders did beat the Ravens, who are in the top 10, which is crazy. The Eagles have looked shaky. Even with their win in Brazil, they looked shaky. Jalen Hurts is not fully Jalen Hurts. If it wasn't for the fact that Saquon Barkley had the 3 touchdowns that he had, they probably would have lost that game and got blown out. It is what it is. But they lost to the Falcons in horrible fashion. They had the game and just gave it away. Again, Jalen Hurts did not look great. He doesn't trust the line yet. I don't know what's going on. The Lions, which are interesting because they lost to the Bucs this week. They got handled pretty well with the Bucs. Jared Goff had been mid at best. So I don't know. I don't like 5 for the Lions. Buffalo Bills at 4, you could argue, but they're at a 2-0 start, and they fucking manhandled Miami, who everybody thought this was their year to take over. Nah, they got manhandled in Miami by the Bills. Bills didn't look great, but they didn't look bad either. It's not that they didn't look great. They just didn't look like what we're used to seeing. They weren't a high-powered offense like we were, with the big plays and stuff. But they're chip, 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 great defense, chip, 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 touchdown, great defense. So I think that, honest to God truth, that they'll be good to go. I think that 4 is entirely too low to me. Number 3 is the Texans. You could argue, whatever, top 3. 49ers to still be at number 2 while losing to the Vikings and the Vikings not being in your top 10. So they should have dropped down a substantial amount, at least in my eyes, right? There are other power rankings out there. I won't go into all of them too much. There are some that have the Steelers at 4, which is kind of crazy, and have the 49ers at 6. And still the Packers at 10. I mean, and then of course the CBS has Chiefs, Bills, Texans, Bucks, Vikings, Saints, Seahawks. Honestly, I can kind of get behind this one a little more because like they're going off of record as well as the opponent of that record. So, but the one common denominator I see is literally everybody has the Chiefs as number one. And I got a fucking problem with that. So let's get into my top 10. So at number 10, the Seattle Seahawks. Really hard not to put them there. Their 2 games that they played, they didn't look, great. They didn't look super amazing or anything like that. But the Seahawks won their games pretty well. The last game went to the wire against New England, but New England has been playing really well, and West Coast teams typically don't play well going to the East Coast. They just don't. Denver, yeah, okay, I get it. Bo Nix is trash, whatever. Denver's kind of trash. They're in rebuild mode, blah, 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 blah. But they handled their business. They got some garbage time points, Denver did. So it is what it is. But I really feel like the Seahawks are kind of getting overlooked, especially with being number one in the NFC West. I think it's kind of disrespectful not to see them as a threat or put them in the top 10 when they're the only one in the NFC West that is 2-0. Everybody else is 1-1, and the Rams, of course, injury prone, going 0-2. Next up, I have the Steelers. 2-0, great defense. Okay offensive play. They're not bad. They beat Atlanta, who's 1-1. They beat here. Let me pull it up before I forget because I forgot already. But yeah, they haven't looked great. They beat Denver as well. Damn, Denver's just getting mollywopped. But they were playing at Denver. Which is sometimes harder for East Coast teams to play, or teams to play in Denver because of the elevation, blah, blah, blah. But again, Denver is Denver, but that's why they're so low on the top 10. Because to me, you can't overlook that defense. You cannot overlook that defense whatsoever. So I have to give it to them because, yeah, there's no way you don't give it to them on that. So, at least putting them at number 9 is, that's respectable at least. You know what I mean? Like they're not great, but they're not bad. I feel like they're doing better than a lot of teams that a lot of people thought. The Steelers, haven't even had Russell play once. Justin Fields, who we all thought was washed, comes in, been efficient. He hasn't been great, but he's been efficient. Their run game, which Najee Harris we all thought was kind of washed as well. Excuse me, running pretty decent. Can't be mad at it. Now, we're starting to get a little sticky. Next up is the Vikings. I hate to say it. They're 2-0. They are number 1 in the NFC North. Now, say what you want about the Giants. They're ass. I will give you that. The Giants are ass. But they blew the Giants out of the water. There was no mistaking who was the top dog on the team. There was no, team-wise. There was hey, we're top dogs. Y'all are fuck out of here. Y'all just go play for the first round draft pick. The first pick in the draft, okay? But I'm surprised Sam Darnold is having a resurgence. I'm as a Packer fan, I'm not thrilled about it, but you got to give respect where respect is due. Their defense is playing well. Their offense is clicking. Justin Jefferson hasn't missed a fucking beat. Doesn't matter who his quarterback is. Hell, he was on the 6-pack of the week. So you just got to respect it. They beat one of the best teams in the league. Arguably the best team in the NFC. You have to give them their kudos. You can't front them. Anyway, now Chargers. The Chargers are the most interesting story to me because, first off, they're 2-0 along with the Chiefs. One. Two, we all kind of, I am known, I've said it on the show before, I think Justin Herbert is overrated. I think everybody is ridiculously hype on him, and I feel like, he ain't all that. But with Vegas, they beat Vegas by more than, by 2 touchdowns basically. They beat the Carolina Panthers 26-3. So again, kind of a Giants Vikings situation. They let them know who's the best who's the best players on the teams or on the field, and the best team on the field. And I will say that, man, honestly, the Chargers are the biggest surprise for me this year. Biggest surprise. Now, they're about to get into a tough part of the schedule. So, again, these things are right now. As of sits right now. They got at Pittsburgh, which is going to be tough this Sunday. And then they have to play the Chiefs at home. Now, the way Harbaugh has these boys balling, the other Harbaugh, his brother in Baltimore, needs to figure this out. J.K. Dobbins is having a resurgence as well. Justin Herbert doesn't look ass. He looks, okay now. Their defense is playing a lot better. I got to give him credit. I got to give my boy Harbaugh credit. May possibly be up Coach of the Year if he continues, because we were all ready to write off the Chargers. And nobody can tell me otherwise, because there ain't that many Charger fans out there. So don't give me that fucking bullshit. Man, yeah, that 9.7 is kicking, because as I keep drinking, it keeps getting better. Okay, so that is, what is that, 10, 9, 8, 7. So number 6, I owe this team an apology. I had some harsh words because I did not believe. I thought Godwin was washed. Fuck, I hope I said his name right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Godwin, yeah, see, I said it right. Tampa Bay is 2-0. They are tied for first in the NFC South. They played Washington, which, Washington's also rebuilding, but they look decent. Washington looks decent. They're figuring it out. And then they go into Detroit, which the Rams will tell you is hard to fucking do. Hard to do. And won that game. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't crazy, but Baker and them boys are back. And I got to give credit to where credit is due. I owe them an apology for talking crazy. But Baker has single-handedly showed me and told me to shut the fuck up. So, yeah, I thought that the Bucs were going to be washed. I didn't think that they were going to do that great. I thought Mayfield didn't have a supporting cast around him. But I'm wrong. And I can admit when I'm wrong and take my L and move on. But I do think their schedule lines up for them to be pretty nice they're in a division that's not, it's 2 teams in that division. And I don't give the Falcons that much credit yet. I think that the Falcons are going to get there, but they've got the rest of the way, they've got some pretty winnable fucking games. They're at home for Denver, which honestly, the way they've been playing, that's a win. Philly at home, honestly, they could squeak that out as well. You go into Detroit and beat Detroit the way you did, and then at Atlanta, then at Saints, and then versus the Ravens. Now, the Ravens, hopefully they'll get it together, but I don't know, man. They're looking really shaky. Harbaugh's trying to fucking reinvent the wheel with Lamar and Derrick Henry, trying not to run the ball. Like, why the fuck did you go get Henry if you weren't going to run the ball? So, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with the Ravens. But, again, very winnable games on the Bucs schedule. So, they could win the NFC South and make my prediction look bad. Man, all of my predictions have been looking crazy except for, like, 2. But hey, listen, we're 3. Yeah, 3. 3. So anyway, that remains to be seen. So number 5, to me, this is the only team that is 1-1 in my power rankings of top 10. And that is the fucking 49ers, which I can't stand them, but they looked real shaky second game. Real shaky second game. And you have to give credit to the Vikings, which is why they're in here, but the Vikings weren't expected to be in the top 10, so that's why they're not above the Niners. Now, the Niners are dealing with a lot of injuries. The Niners are dealing with what they call holdout hangover, Super Bowl hangover, Madden curse. Listen, the Niners are still the Niners. They're still one of the top teams in the NFC West, in the NFC, period, regardless of how shaky they've come out and started. So I do think they'll get it together. I think that their schedule will allow it to get it together because unlike some other teams, they're about to go versus the Rams at home, which the Rams are not themselves. They're a shell of themselves with all the injuries. Then they're going to face New England at home, Cardinals at home, and at the Seahawks. Now, the one that I'm shaky on is the Seahawks. Cardinals, they're starting to look okay, but I'm still not fully convinced, right? The big game that they should be circling after that is the Chiefs at home. That game is going to be crucial. You heard it first. Everybody knows that kind of, but I think San Francisco pulls off the upset in that game. So we'll talk better beer at the house later. But yeah, so I think the Niners, the first game, put them so far ahead with a healthier Aaron Rodgers, with a great defense or a good defense of the Jets. They made look fucking mediocre as hell, and they looked a lot better than they played this last week. So that is the reason they're still in the top 10, but they are shaky. So now, this next team, I am in awe because there is no way that this guy has come back the way he has and made this much of a whirlwind. Now, Derek Carr and the Saints are on a roll that no one saw coming. I don't care, except for Saints fans. I'll give y'all credit. They rolled, not only did they roll the Cowboys, they rolled the Panthers, and Derek Carr, 443 passing yards already in 2 games. Rushing yards, 198 for Alvin Kamara, but their defense, like I said, their defense was really, really good. They've been playing phenomenal. And their offense, who I thought wasn't going to be that great, turned out to be actually a whole lot better than I thought. That dude Rashid Shaheed is the Speedy Gonzalez of New Orleans. Pay that man some respect. He will take the top off of your defense because, I mean, damn. He's already got 2 touchdowns on the season. One was a 70-yarder. He's got 169 yards already. Alvin Kamara, like I said, was going to be a big part of their offense, so I wasn't wrong in that standpoint. But I just didn't think Olave, who hasn't scored a touchdown yet, but he is, doing his thing. Rashid Shaheed. I mean, nobody could tell me about this kid. A couple fantasy football people were talking about him, but nobody could tell me about that. Everybody else has been playing out of their mind. So honestly, I feel like Derek Carr has figured out his team, his offense, and they're clicking like nobody's business. Next up is number 3. Next up is going to be very controversial because, like I said, the one common denominator whatever common number one team, or the one that everybody put at number one, I have at number 3. I am not a believer. Travis Kelce on the Chiefs, now that he's second year and dating Taylor Swift, not to blame her, but he's doing a lot of things outside of football. My man has got a podcast that he's getting $100 million for. He's dating, he's going out and having, dates and watching tennis. He is not 100% focused. I don't care what nobody says. I don't believe it. They looked very beatable the last 2 games. They won by a toe, literally a toe. They won by a pass interference call and the Bengals beating themselves. The Bengals, who have looked really, really mediocre, Joe Burrow and his flunkies, if you will, almost beat them. And if it wasn't for Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, arguably one of the greatest coaches in the league of all time, maybe, if it wasn't for them, I would have to say that this team really deserves to be lower. Worthy's looking good, I give him that, but Pacheco just went down. Their next slot of games are not going to be easy. I do think that, to be honest, out of both of the 2-0 teams, I feel like when they go into Atlanta, it's gonna be tough. The Chargers is gonna be really tough. That first one, they're gonna be at the Chargers. It's gonna be really tough. I think Harbaugh's got the Chargers playing very, very tough, and they're playing keep away. They might figure it out. Andy, it might be in trouble. So I got them at 3. I give them the respect they're due. Like I said, they would have been lower than the Saints to me, but to me, they are 2-0. So, and they beat, pretty good teams. Everybody had the Ravens higher. Everyone had the Bengals higher. Obviously, those 2 things have kind of checked out. The other Harbaugh is just blowing it right now with whatever the fuck he's got going on, bringing Derrick Henry and not running the ball. I don't understand it. No one, for the life of what I've heard, understands it. So whatever. And number two in the power rankings, my power rankings, Beer 30 power rankings. I hate to say it because this is another team. Their fan base is kind of annoying. But the Texans look good. Nico Collins, C.J. Stroud, that defense is rocking. They just didn't miss a beat. And to me, you can't, with their schedule, they played at Indy, which Indy has always given them a hard time at home, at Indianapolis. They played the Bears. They played, the new Caleb Williams. They had Caleb Williams running for his fucking life. Honestly, Caleb still ain't throwing a touchdown. But Caleb has faced 2 tough defenses, and just, yeah. So you have to give credit where credit is due. The Texans defense looks good. They've got that hit you in the mouth, physical. They look like what the Niners used to scare everybody in the NFC like. Like, they used to be so physical, and you used to you just used to get wore down as players, used to get smacked across the field. And I mean smacked. That's what the Texans defense looked like. It's not a surprise that the head coach comes from the cloth of the 49ers when he was a defensive coordinator. It just, to me, like I said, the Texans look good. I hate to admit it. They haven't missed a beat. They're putting Diggs into the mix. They're Nico Collins into they're just weapons upon weapons upon weapons. Now Mixon did go down. We'll see how they bounce back with that. I think they'll get it figured out. We don't know how long Mixon is supposed to be out, but we'll see. Next, my number one, and this is no shit. I mean, my number one fan base is Go Pack Go. But my number one power ranking in the NFL as of week 3, as of right now, It's got to be the Buffalo Bills. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with y'all. How do we not have the Bills as the number one fucking power rank team out there? Give me a reason why not, right? So first off, to put them behind the Texans is kind of crazy because they absolutely fucking dominated what's supposed to be one of the best offenses in the league. Miami looked like fucking JV of Florida out there. Fuck you. No way. How in the hell do we not have them up there? Josh Allen's not turning the ball over. Patrick Mahomes is. But, you know, listen, everybody's stuck in the teeth of the Chiefs. I get it. But the Bills, man. Number one for me is the Bills. They just look like they're getting it together. They look like their offense is not dependent on one player. They're not trying to force it. Dallas needs to pay attention. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Let's run the ball. Let's play great defense. Let my quarterback throw the passes that he needs to throw. And then fuck it. We'll just push him in like the tush push or let him run for the next 10, 20 yards because he's a fucking house moving at 15 miles per hour. The Bills are cooking. Let them cook. The Bills are fucking cooking, and they are my number one NFL ranked power ranking to me, hands down. I don't care what nobody says. They just look they just look great Thursday night, and they looked pretty good the week before. I don't really understand why they didn't get as much love. I mean, the Cardinals are coming back. So, you know, they had the Cardinals fans questioning why Murray wasn't throwing it to Harrison because he was locked the fuck up. So I don't get it. Again, I don't get it why they're not higher on everybody's fucking list. They're still in the top 5 for majority list, but to me, they are far in between. They don't look like they've missed a beat. They lost their number one target. Number one target, mind you, number one. And the number one guy they drafted hasn't been super talent targeted. They just sharing the ball, getting the touchdowns, and playing great fucking defense. Listen, honorary Bills Mafia believer here, okay? So I'm on record. They're probably gonna fucking go crazy against the Jacksonville Jaguars and at Baltimore because Baltimore, I don't know. They got to figure it out. The toughest games they got is at Houston, which that's going to be, to me, the test. I feel like Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence, you know, we don't know what's going on with him. Then Baltimore, we don't, you know, if Harbaugh's still continuing to want to reinvent the wheel and not run the ball, and I don't know. They're looking real. Losing to Vegas, man. Losing to Vegas to me was the most disrespectful thing to the fan base that I've ever seen in my life in Baltimore. Craziest shit I've ever seen. And then Houston, like I said, Houston is the marker for the Bills. They need to figure out if both of those teams are undefeated going into that game, which is very, very fucking possible. That might be your AFC fucking championship. Just saying. Just saying. You heard it here? Yes, first. But anyway, those are my top 10 power rankings. Bills at number 1, Texans number 2, Chiefs at 3, Saints at 4. I know I'm going to hear a bunch of shit about that, but I don't care. Niners at 5, Bucks at 6, Chargers at 7, Vikings 8, Steelers 9, and rounding it the fuck off are the Seattle Seahawks. That is my 10. Honorary mention. Number 12 is the Packers. Don't play with me. If we had our fucking quarterback, we probably would have smacked the shit out of the Colts. But hey, it is what it is. Colts are still building, so we got to keep building on those wins, Pack. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. By the way, if you want to win some money, follow me, bet a beer, bet the house. I am on a fucking roll. I'm over 60% right now for the year. I gotta hold on. Let me just prove to you what I'm saying, right? Where's better beer? Okay, so Friday night, I was right about Tech. I was right about Boston College. I was wrong about Oregon State. UNT and Tech, I was wrong about. Okay. Then I was, fuck Baltimore. Yeah. I was right about Washington. And I was right about Arizona, which was pretty easy. I was wrong about Kansas, but I was right about Kentucky. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 out of 9, baby. You do the math. Only 4 misses. Listen, I'll take that every I'll take that every chance you get. I'd be a fucking Hall of Famer in the MLB. But listen, follow me. Go ahead and get that 6-pack. Go ahead and get the Tall Boy Tears on Patreon. Bet a beer, bet the house. Telling you right now, we on a roll, baby. Let's just keep rolling, keep going. Thank you for watching. This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. This beer is disgusting, but I don't waste beer.